Outlanders. Yeah, Outlanders are pretty straightforward. There's really only teddy builds, like ability builds, and farming. They're pretty much meant for farming. Um, at the end game, I'm an end game player. I don't particularly use Outlanders other than to farm. They really fall off pretty hard, but you can certainly use them throughout pretty much the rest of the game. They're very good early game through the mid game, but they do fall off pretty hard in the late game. Um, so with an Outlander, you're typically going to go a Teddy build if you're going to go a damage Outlander build. In terms of team perks, Happy Holidays is probably the only one you should use. Reduces your ability cooldowns by 40%. It's pretty straightforward in terms of what heroes you want to use. There's really no like best in slot for like a commander versus support. These are about the only Outlanders that will buff your Teddy. There's one, Jilly Teacup. She's a holiday hero. She gives you 100% crit chance for your Teddy when they shoot new targets. If you have her, she's pretty good. You can definitely use her. I don't have her, but in my commander, I run Bear With Me, Jingle Jess. You can run Enforcer Grizzly if you have him. He has the same perk, or Metal Team Leader if you have that hero as well. They both have the, or all three of them have the same perk. So in your commander, she gives you 12-second Teddy duration. In the support, she gives you 4 seconds. With this build, you pretty much have infinite Teddy, meaning before this breaks, you already have your next cooldown, so when it does, you can just throw it back down. So I have Bear With Me here in the lead, and then I run Berserker for increased Teddy damage by 30%. Pressing Charges increases damage of your Fragment abilities by 30%, so Teddy and Shock Tower are your Fragment abilities, but I don't have Shock Tower here. On this hero, she has a Seismic Smash and Phase Shift, but I still get 30% on my Teddy, and that's kind of what this build is meant for, is just the Teddy, so that's 60% damage right there. Then I run Fragment Flurry Jest for Fragment generation. Every 39 eliminations, you get 1 charge fragment. So yeah, 39 kills, you get a charge fragment. She's very good in the lead too. It goes from 39 to 13 eliminations. I used to use her in the lead for a very long time. Berserk is also very good in the lead because she gives you 46% Teddy damage and 25% fire rate, which is huge. So she is very good in the lead. If you wanted to run her in the lead, by all means, do it. I think Happy Holidays is the team perk you should use on every Teddy build. Berserker's good in the lead. Bear With Me is good in the lead. Commander. Probably about it. I run Overbearing. This increases Teddy range by 2 tiles. Enemies take more damage from Teddy based on distance, up to 40% at max range. Just gives you a little more utility, a little bit more damage. Not like super great, but not bad at all. And then I run Survivalist because I like to have that little bit of healing. Plus, I mainly only run these in lower level missions when I'm doing certain mission alerts for like a schematic or a legendary survivor or V-Bucks, because I'm a founder, so I get V-Bucks and you know, occasionally when the daily missions warrant it. But so yeah, I pretty much only use a Teddy loadout and the lower level missions because it falls off very hard. You can also run. I have done this. I don't have him legendary, but I do have him epic. Right here, Cyberclops. He energy damage has a 20% chance to zap nearby enemies for 116% of the damage dealt, and then additionally, Teddy deals energy damage. So every time your Teddy shoots something, has a 20% chance to zap all nearby enemies for 116% of that damage. It's very strong. If you're running a Teddy loadout, in high level missions, you just absolutely love Teddy builds. I used to be one of those people. Absolutely run Cyberclops. Enemies up in Twine Peaks, high Twine Peaks, mid Twine Peaks, all of them are always elemental, just every single mission. You have tons of elemental enemies, and obviously if you're using Teddy that shoots physical and you don't have him, you're doing like half of the damage. So it's pretty bad. So with Cyberclops, your Teddy is just doing more damage to the elemental enemies, and it still does a decent amount of damage to the physical husks that don't have an element. But But yeah, those are about it for the commander perks. You can also use Old Glory AC. Spending a charge fragment reduces Teddy and Shock Tower cooldowns by an additional... as your commander, it's 30%. I would not recommend using him as a commander. You can use him in the support. It's 10% in the support. It's an extra 10% on the cooldown. That's pretty good. If you were running Cyberclops, I would run this exact loadout and then probably get rid of Overbearing for Jingle Jess for the Bear With Me, and then run Old Glory instead of Survivalist. That way your cooldown isn't so long on the Teddy. That's really the only ones I'd recommend using for Teddy builds. Now, the main use of Outlanders is farming. There's a few different ways you can run a farming loadout. Like, you can run Pathfinder Jess with Work in the commander. You get 50% increased pickaxe damage, and you break things very, very quickly. It's not a bad loadout. It's definitely usable, especially in the early game when you probably don't have a lot of these heroes when you're just starting out, or even if you're returning and you don't have these heroes. You can definitely use her for a farming loadout. You just want to get in, get materials that you need for whatever, for building, for your storm shield defense, for crafting, you know, whatever. She's certainly viable. I think there's other ways that are more efficient for farming. You can run Archaeologist. I don't have her yet. I believe she comes out the first week of August. I believe in the shop you can buy her for gold. So if you don't have her either, definitely stick around till then and pick her up. She's very good for the farming builds. She reduces the energy cost of your anti-material charge. If you don't know, the main point of farming Outlanders is to use your anti-material charge to punch things, and you get materials for it, and you base a build around that, and it allows you to farm very, very efficiently and quickly. You can run Clip in the lead, so objects destroyed by anti-material charge have a 33% chance to drop additional ingredients. It's 100% if she's in the lead. But when she's in the lead, it's very difficult to get a lot of energy. Like, you can punch a few times, and then you're out of energy, and you're just waiting, and it's very slow. So I like to run Fossil Southie in the lead, because when he's in the lead, you regenerate 12 energy per second. That's a lot of energy. And when you're running from like tree to car to rock to whatever, there's a little bit of downtime that allows you to regenerate a good bit of energy before you start punching again. So your downtime is very, very minimal. So you're punching all the time. It's super fast, very efficient. So I like to run him in the lead. And then, of course, you have to have your shield depleted to gain that bonus. So you run Blast from the Past. I run Saurian Hide just for a little bit of survivability, because you don't have like any damage with this build, obviously, and enemies are going to be hitting you all the time. I just have Saurian Might here. I don't really have any better options. I could use this probably because I have a Teddy that actually might be better. But if you have like Parasword Jess, I believe when you use your abilities you can't get health, or you can use Saurian Vigor, which gives you health, like a percentage of your health every like 5 seconds, I think. That's going to be more useful than some damage. But I just have it slotted here because I need to get the Blast from the Past bonus. And then I run Clip in the support, 33% chance for additional ingredients, not bad at all. Work for some extra pickaxe damage, and if I had Archaeologist, I would definitely have her in here too, to reduce the energy costs. It allows me to punch way more often. But I just have Going Coconuts in here just for some healing when I need it, if I'm in the storm farming, or if it also gives you a 16% damage increase, so that affects your pickaxe as well. I just throw a supply drop in here since I'm pretty much just farming the whole time, so you know, just a little bit of extra materials can't hurt you. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Outlanders. Like, there's some Seismic Smash builds that aren't bad. Seismic Smash got a huge buff, and it actually is pretty good. Shock Tower builds, like on their own, I wouldn't, like coupled with Teddy, it's fine, but I wouldn't base a whole build around a Shock Tower. And there's some like, you could do a pistol builds. That's very viable. Pistols are among the worst subtypes of weapons in the game, so I don't particularly run pistols, but you would run like Beetle Jess, you'd run Ranger Deadeye that give you pistol and SMG bonuses. So pistol and SMG kind of go together as like assault and SMG do. But if you're gonna run SMGs, in my opinion, you would just run a soldier build. They have higher health values, and their abilities at base are a bit better and more useful than like for fighting and than Outlanders. So you would just run that, but yeah, that's pretty much it for Outlanders. Very straightforward, very simple. You really can't go wrong. Keep in mind, there's no like best build. It's all personal preference. Whatever you like to run, whatever fits your playstyle. If you really can't go wrong, as long as you have an idea of what you want to use and what you're trying to go for, and you slot heroes that help you reach that idea, that goal, that whatever you're trying to do, you really can't go wrong, and you're not gonna have a bad time. There are things that sometimes objectively are just better, like, you know, for instance, just say for soldiers, like if you're running totally rocking out, you would want crit damage as your commander perk, because you're going to be critting more often, so you're just going to be doing more damage often. Like, that's objectively just better, but for the most part, it's all personal preference. Same thing with your gadgets, the type of heroes you want to run, the classes that you run. It's all personal preference. So don't get caught up on trying to copy people's build. Like, what's the best? If you're trying to min max your loadouts, your play style, your gameplay, there are definitely ways to do that. But for the most part, just have fun with it. Find out what you like to use, and run with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.